My 21F, boyfriend 22M, tried coax my roommate 20F into having sex with him. Hey, I am in a rough place and I am really shaken from everything that has went down. There is a lot, so please stick with me. I am a junior in a mid-sized college. My soon-to-be ex-boyfriend goes to a state school which is around a 2-hour drive from my college, so he visits semi-often. We met through mutual friends and have been dating for around 2 years now. He was my best friend and I loved our dynamic more than anything. I live with 3 other people, my best friend Lee and 2 girls who got pulled into our apartment by university housing. The other girls are Emily and Michelle, who are best friends. As the year went on, all 4 of us got closer and we can consider each other as friends. This weekend, Emily and Lee ended up going home for the weekend, so it was just Michelle and I in the apartment. My boyfriend came over Friday after class and we spent the rest of the day together. We went to my sorority social event but left early since my boyfriend was a little tired. Michelle is in the army and is super fit and beautiful. She has a ton of tattoos and is overall a badass girl. On occasion she's hung out with me and my boyfriend in the living room. I have seen him look her up and down a few times but just thought it was a normal guy thing and brushed it off. Michelle had gone to bed early because she had to wake up early for drill on Saturday. My boyfriend and I ended up going to bed after getting home when I got a text from one of the younger sisters in the sorority saying there was an emergency at her place and I needed to come there now. I asked my boyfriend if he wanted to come help and he said no and that he'd stay back. I told him that I might be a while and he insisted that he wanted to stay. I just chalked it up to him being tired. I ended up walking over to the girls' dorm to find one of them unresponsive from all the drinking at the social event. Her roommate was shoving a finger down her throat and making her puke up all the stuff she had drank. We called in resident advisor for dorms and she said that she would handle the situation. The RA drove my sister to an urgent care and I said I would meet her there after grabbing a coat and my car keys. I walked back to my apartment and I walked in on a scene that made my heart drop. My boyfriend was in his boxers standing in the doorway of Michelle's room. I entered and saw her crying on her floor. I asked what in the hell was going on and learned from Michelle that my boyfriend had tried to go into her room while she was sleeping and attempted to coax her into having sex with him. While I was getting the details from Michelle, my boyfriend basically just stood there and didn't say anything. I obviously believed Michelle and told my boyfriend to grab his things and drive back to school. I asked Michelle if she needed me to do anything for her, but she just said that she needed to sleep for drill over the weekend. So I drove to the urgent care to make sure my sister was alright and stayed until she was released in the morning. She is alright now and just has to deal with the sorority council about her conduct at the social event. I just have no idea how to deal with my roommate because I know she must be traumatized from this. I don't want her to hate me after all this. I am enraged at my boyfriend and so heartbroken that he would do something like this. I just feel so sad and upset and I have no hope right now. See told for too long don't read. I walked in on my boyfriend who tried to unsuccessfully get my roommate to bang him. Long story short, I left my apartment for an emergency concerning a younger sister in my sorority. After telling my ex I would probably be a while before I got home, he decided to take his chance to try and coerce my roommate into having sex with him. His bright idea was to strip down to his boxers and enter her room and attempt to enter her bed without any sort of consent. As a result, she freaked out, I kicked him out, and now I am updating what happened after that incident. Michelle did not come home Sunday night and stayed at a friend's place through Monday. She skipped classes for a mental health day, also because she needed sleep from a long and tedious drill. When she got back to the apartment, she already had a game plan in place from talking to a non-commissioned officer at her unit. We talked and cried for a few hours and most of the time just sat there in silence, finally feeling the weight of the situation. For everyone asking if my ex was forceful in a physical way with her, he was not. The only time he touched her was when she apparently started pushing him away. He tried pushing her hands away from him since he thought she was going to deck him or something. We think he was shocked because she refused to sleep with him and thought his amazing idea would go perfectly as planned. So, Michelle does not want to report him to the police, but she did want to report it to our university. She decided against going to law enforcement because our university can ensure some form of anonymity. Michelle is trying to go to something called Officer Candidate School when she graduates. Therefore, she did not want to deal with any sort of backlash in case it hurts her chances of getting selected to go. We went to the Title IX office, and they immediately saw us after explaining the situation. We talked to a coordinator, but she wanted to talk to Michelle alone for most of the time. After the meeting, we were assured that my ex would be banned from campus. She also said she would reach out to his school and make sure he faces some sort of consequence. According to the coordinator, if his school took this seriously, he could get kicked out of his engineering fraternity and get suspended for a semester. Michelle was completely fine with this, she just wants him out of our lives forever. Our relationship as roommates does not feel awkward, in fact I feel closer to her. We made the decision not to renew our quad apartment for senior year. Michelle and Emily will be getting a double and Lee and I will be getting one as well. As for my ex, I blocked him on everything and haven't reached out to him since I told him to leave the apartment. I am ready to start a new chapter. However, as a last-ditch effort to see him burn, I messaged his parents on Facebook and explained what he did and why I would not be attending Thanksgiving at their house. They have seen the message but they did not reply. Again, thanks for all the help and love, Reddit. She told for too long don't read, we went to the Title IX office who will reach out to his school. Hopefully he will face some severe consequences. Story 2. Telling my pregnant sister to lower her expectations for me as an uncle. She told in the post. My sister is pregnant with her first child and is very excited about it. I'm happy for her because she really wants to be a mom. I have never particularly liked kids. I always said I never wanted kids of my own even when I was young. Things changed somewhat and I have a stepson that I adore, but other than him I still do not like kids. For some reason people around me interpret my relationship with my stepson as me having softened my dislike of children when I am very clear this is not the case. I am also very introverted and do not do much as far as being around people that is more than the bare minimum to keep those around me happy. I am much happier home either alone or with my girlfriend and stepson just hanging out than with the rest of my family or with friends. My sister today was excited about her pregnancy and I was indulging her to be nice. She started going off on all the fun things I can do as an uncle with her yet-to-be-born child and at first I just let it go. I didn't play along or say no, I just let her talk. She wouldn't stop and eventually it just got to be too much and I told her she needed to cool it. She asked what I meant and I said her and I have a different view of my role as an uncle. She asked what I meant and I said I would see her kid on birthdays, holidays and family events, but I didn't see myself doing all the things she was naming off. She got very upset and said how could I say that about my soon-to-be first niece/nephew. I reminded her I am not the biggest fan of children and didn't see myself having a particularly close relationship with her child. She mentioned what a good dad I am to my stepson and I said that's different, that's my son, I'm not her kid's father and I don't have to be involved with her kid if I don't want to be. We also have another brother and we both know he will be wanting to do as much with her kid as possible so I said it's not like the kid needs me. My parents then got the hint her and I were in a disagreement and came over to see what was going on. Both my parents are on her side and think I should be a better uncle, and also should not have said something to upset my pregnant sister. She edited the post first time I talked with my brother about it. He basically said based off of everything I've said my entire life he doesn't understand why my sister would have ever had these expectations to begin with. He's not on anyone's side. He said he gets why she wants more from me but also thinks that she should have expected this. She updated on the post one, my sister just called me. She spoke with both my brother and her husband last night after the fact and they told her that there was nothing in our relationship the past 20+ years that should have led her to conclude my attitude towards her child being anything other than what I told her. She apologized if she made me feel like I was being pushed into a relationship with her child that I did not want. I apologized for the time and manner in which I said what I said and that I could have handled it better. I also apologized for not being the kind of person she is hoping for as the uncle of her child. We both accepted each other's apologies and we're good now. She's next update posted and telling. The update with my sister was accurate but my parents were not leaving it alone. They still wanted me to be involved with my sister and her kid more and would not drop it. So I called a meeting with my family today. When I say my family I mean my siblings, brother-in-law and parents, not my girlfriend and stepson. Prior to this meeting I had a discussion with my girlfriend last night and she agreed it was okay for me to tell them the parts regarding her personally and our son I am about to describe even if she didn't agree with some of the reasons for it. I explained to them again my aversion to kids and not liking being around them. They of course questioned why I have a stepson then. I explained to them a whole bunch of background about meeting his mom and later him and how it came to be where I love him like my own, despite me not liking other kids, still that they had never heard before. They asked if the same could happen with my sister's child and I said never say never, but it is very unlikely. I also explained to them that I am not a social person in general and do not do things socially often. I told them about the fact that I even only see the people I consider my best friends 2 to 3 times a year because that's all the energy I can muster to be social. I explained that being social and seeing people socially is like work to me and it is mentally and emotionally exhausting and I don't like doing it, but I do it from time to time because I know others want it from me. They didn't understand why someone can feel like social interaction is work and that I should just grow up and be with people because it's unnatural to only want to spend time with my GF and stepson and otherwise be a hermit. I said their opinion is fine but does not change anything. I apologized that who I am upsets them and that if it hurts them that I am this way. We then moved on to talk about our individual relationships. I told my parents I have not forgiven them for making me raise my brother and sister when I was just a kid myself and that I almost certainly never will. I also told my sister I have an issue with her defending them for this. I understand they did their best and that they were gone because they were trying to make ends meet, but if they couldn't afford kids without always working and not being present, they shouldn't have had kids. They all pointed out that would mean my siblings and I likely wouldn't be alive, and I said I understand that, but it still stands in my opinion. There was a lot of fighting over this that I won't go into detail on. My brother didn't really say much during this, but my BIL actually said when it came to my parents he may not agree with not forgiving them, but he understands why I feel the way I do. I told my brother and BIL that on a personal level I have zero issues with either of them and that if I had a normal social drive, perhaps we could have a closer relationship. I then reiterated that I am there for all of them if they ever needed me for something before I moved on to the thing that I really wanted to say to them. Some people pointed out me not being as involved with my sister's kid as she is with mine is not fair, so I thought about it and those people may be right. So I told them all that we have two options moving forward. 1. We can have a limited relationship where they see me, my GF, and stepson on birthdays, holidays, and special occasions. I will not do other hangouts and things with them or the future child. They will not do special things with me and my family. We see each other at these things and in emergencies only. I told them when my stepson is older and old enough to make his own decisions, if he wants a further relationship with them, I would not stop him from pursuing it and I would not poison the well. Or 2. We have no relationship at all moving forward and we completely remove each other from each other's lives. I told them that the decision as to which option they want is up to them and can be taken on an individual basis and is of course open to future changes should all of us want them, and that they did not have to have an answer for me right away if they did not want to. Again, my parents and sister were upset. I gave them an ultimatum and said it was completely unfair. My brother and BIL were both silent. I left and then got a call from my brother shortly thereafter. He said he accepts what I had to say even if he doesn't quite understand my antisocial behaviors and wants option 1 even if the others didn't. I told him I was happy he chose option 1 because if I got to choose any of them to interact with still, he would be my choice and that we'd be in touch. Thank you so much for listening story to the end. Hope your holidays going well with Christmas gifts. If you enjoy our videos don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Have a good day, and if you haven't subscribed yet please do it and hit the notification bell icon to stay updated with more shocking real life stories happening around you.